Yes, you are most welcome to the International Discourse, and we are recording this program from Tokyo. Today, we have a very special guest from India, Mr. Dr. Bijay Joli, and he's a politician of the state of Delhi, belonging to the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. And we especially talk about the relationship between Nepal and India. We have a very historical relationship, and it should be long life. So today's this discourse should be historical, and so I would like to welcome Mr. Bijay Jodi to this program. You are most welcome to the show, sir. Namaste.
Namaste on this happy occasion of Happy Diwali, Bhaiya Dooj, Govardhan Puja, which is commonly celebrated by 130 crore Indians in Republic of India and by 3 crore Nepali brothers and sisters in Nepal. My pranam, my namaskar to all the Nepali brothers and sisters who are listening to this program, which is being recorded from Japan, especially for the benefit of Nepali citizens, not only in Nepal, but the world over. Please accept my good wishes of Dr. Vijay Jolly, of the Bharatiya Janata Party, of my Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, and the people of India. Jai Hind. Jai
Okay,
Nepal.
Bijay. Okay, Dr. Bijay Joli, you and your family and all Indian peoples. I think they are keep watching this program. So from the Nepal side, we would like to wish a very happy Diwali. Okay, let me forward some issues. So, very genuine queries we have regarding the Nepal and India. It is connected to the Nepal and India. Why did India build this road through territory claimed by Nepal? This is the question of Nepalese people. Even in your mind, I think you have to, give a reply very responsibly.
You see, first of all, I wish to state
Okay.
that the relations between India and Nepal
Mhm.
are not based on one road, are not based on Chowmen, are not based on small territorial claims, are not based on past, but are strong in the present. The roti beti ka sambandh, which we always envisage from both sides of the fence, which means that the people of Nepal and the people of India are correlated to each other. With the 80 lakh Nepalis in India and 6 lakh Indians in Nepal, with common borders, with no need of a visitor visa to visit each other's country,
Mhm.
we are brothers and sisters, not in the present time, but since time immemorial. The Indian government has built up a road which we claim to be on our territory to felicitate the smooth passage to Kailash Mansarovar, not only for Indian citizens, but for Nepali citizens also. There might be a difference of perception. Overnight, the road was not built. It was not as if the road was built under the carpet. The Nepali government and the Indian government were fully in consonance with the ground realities that 80-kilometer road, which we in India claim to be have been built in the district of Pithoragarh, is claimed by my Nepal government brothers and sisters to be its own territory. But please understand India has got no sinister designs to encroach upon even 1 kilometer of road or space or boundary of Nepal. Because at the outset, I have said, we have got great historical, cultural, emotional, family to family relations between the two nations. So these all issues need to be resolved through a peaceful dialogue. India has a long standing dispute with China. India also had a dispute with Pakistan. India also had a dispute with Bangladesh. But India, being a peaceful country, has always taken the route of dialogue, of peaceful negotiations, and also maintaining the strong, cordial relationship, but not at the cost of its territorial integrity. I'm sure
Okay,
this tumultuous,
Dr. Bizet,
this
Dr. Bizet.
tumultuous, this tumultuous
Mhm.
issue between the two nations shall be solved peacefully, and the tension will evaporate and erode in the due course. Have patience is my mantra on both sides of the fence.
Okay, Dr. Bizet, is there any reason for the timing of the Indian announcement on May 8?
You see, there was no specific reason for any Indian government's action.
Mhm.
India was besieged with COVID 19, and you have to imagine that on 15th of March, during the SAARC conference, Prime Minister Modi had gone out of the way to help, to assist the SAARC nations, and especially our immediate brother and sisters of Nepal by providing 30,000 Petho Detect COVID 19 PCR test kits, 23 tons of medicines, including 8.25 lakh doses of essential drugs, 2.5 lakh hydrochloroquine doses, and 3.20 lakh paracetamol medicines. Now, you will ask, was there any need for India to have provided this assistance to its neighbor? Yes,
Mhm.
there was a need on humanitarian grounds. There was a need that the road from Pithoragarh district to Kailash Mansarovar would felicitate not only Indians but my Nepali brothers and sisters also, because you are 90% Hindu, we are Hindus, but still we are secular in nature. But to felicitate the Kailash Mansarovar religious yatra, to touch base the Kailash Mansarovar situated in China, India thought it prudent to provide a safe, a strong 80 kilometers passage through its own territory, which incidentally the Nepal politicians, the Nepal polity has chosen to make it an issue. But I'm sure I'm not disputing your claims. I'm not a diplomat. I'm not a government servant. But I do hope that in the larger interest of both the nations, in order to strengthen our core issues of development, providing employment, seeing a Samrid and a developed Nepal, which is in India's interest, this issue shall also be resolved amicably. And this is the reason why, in the recent months after 8th May, even during coronavirus pandemic, the relations are slowly and steadily blossoming. The Khatta Meetha effect of 8th May and its subsequent events is fast and fast evaporating. Confidence is building up on both sides of the fence. The allegations and the counter allegations are getting relegated in the background. And I'm sure in the days, weeks, months, and years, the India and Nepal relations will outgrow these small differences which have come on the political considerations on either side of the fence.
Okay, Dr. Vijay, why has this border dispute become so politically charged in India?
You see, there is no dispute or no controversy in India. But what all controversy we hear through the media interviews is all from our Nepalese side. There are demonstrations in Kathmandu. There is a flag burning of the Indian tricolor. There are demonstrations claiming India is intruding on our territory, which is not true. Imagine 32,000 Gorkha soldiers serving in the Indian army. Surya Kiran joint military exercises conducted regularly between Indian and Nepalese military. India supplying 600 megawatts of electricity to Nepal. The Nepal Bharat Maitri Pashupati Nath Dharamsala inaugurated jointly by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Oli on 31st August 2018. Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the last 6 years visited 4 times Nepal because Nepal is close to his heart. He wants to see the developed Nepal because Pashupati Nath is also located in Nepal. It is not located in Republic of India. Your Prime Minister, Mr. KP Sharma Oli, with whom I have got historical relations since many, many years, also undertook 3 visits. The first visit was on 19th to 24th of February 2016. The second visit was on 6th to 8th of April 2018. And the last visit happened on 30th to 31st of May 2019 on the second Prime Minister Modi's swearing in ceremony. When these sort of bilateral and state visits do happen, also the late President Pranab Mukherjee's Nepal visit happening on 2nd to 4th of November 2016, your Honorable President Shrimati Vidya Devi Bhandari's India visit on 17th to 21st of April 2017, Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Debwaji's visit to India on 23rd to 27th of August 2017, I do not think there can be any conspiracy to put the relations on the back burner. Indian aid to Nepal in the current 2019 to 2020 has been to the tune of 1,200 crore of Indian rupees. When we are so generous, when we want to touch base with you, where is the need to encroach only a 80 kilometers small route which has been built to felicitate the pilgrims of both the nations? So put all these controversies, all these heresies aside, think afresh, talk afresh, have a dialogue afresh, and put this sour relationship onto the sweeter path of the modern times. This is my only urge to my Nepali counterparts and the politicians of the day of the ruling party in Nepal. There is no controversy in India. There is all goodwill all around in India for Nepal and its Nepali citizens. I have Nepali brothers and sisters working in my office, working at my home, working in my political office as a co-brothers, as equal partners in India's growth. We don't consider them as subservient. We consider them as equal partners in the modern times, in the growth of India and in the growth of Nepal.
Okay, Dr. Vijay, you are the dynamic leader, intelligent leader from the India, so we do respect you. Are domestic politics hindering India's foreign policy? Can we say that?
You
It is
see,
serious.
India's foreign policy and India's defense policy
Okay.
are firmly grounded on the principles of Vasudev Kutumbakam. Since Prime Minister Narendra Modi took over the office in 2014, his policy has been guided to shake hands, to develop a goodwill relationship, not only with Nepal. His first overseas visit started to the small neighboring kingdom of Bhutan. He also undertook a surprise visit to Lahore a few years ago in his quest for peace, in his quest to shake hands with the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif. Though India has always told the world that Pakistan is a safe haven for terror and terrorist outfits, Pakistan has always had an evil eye on India. But Indian Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, I give him two salutes for that, for his peaceful pursuit of having peaceful correlation with his immediate neighbors. And that was very much manifest when he took over as the Prime Minister in 2014 on his oath-taking ceremony. It is very historic to pinpoint today in 2020, the Prime Minister of Nepal, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, the Prime Minister of Afghanistan, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, the King of Bhutan, the Prime Minister of Mauritius, they were all invited. So there was never a narrow-minded approach of the BJP government in India or the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Damodar Das Modi. His policies have been touch base, talk, have a dialogue, even shake hands with that Pakistan which has always had evil eye on India and its population. We still want to build up the bridges. And in 2016, I also visited Pakistan in my quest to build people-to-people friendship. And I still remember Mr. Imran Khan was the opposition leader. I had met him at that time. I had met Mr. Khattak at that time. And we had, at that time, also very vocally stated in Pakistan, the BJP government in India, led by Prime Minister Modi, the then Foreign Minister, Shrimati Sushma Swaraj, the then BJP President, Mr. Amit Shah, as well as a host of my other leaders, have always envisaged peace and tranquility in our part of the region. And this is the reason why we from Bharat want to have strong people-to-people relation which can guide the destiny of not only India, but also Pakistan, but also Bhutan, but also Bangladesh, but also Sri Lanka, and of course with Nepal, which is none other than our equal partners in growth in this part of the region. So the Indian foreign policy is firmly based on the concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means this whole world is one family. We are not expansionist in nature. We do not want to encroach on others' boundaries or territories, which incidentally some of our immediate neighbors have been indulging in the previous past. But India today is a strong nation, a vibrant nation under the strong leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as Nepal is a strong nation under the leadership of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli.
Okay. Dear all, you are watching International Discourse, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Dr. Bijay Joly from India, and he's the BJP leader, senior BJP leader. Dr. Bijay, did China engineer this border dispute between India and Nepal?
Well, I will not like to indulge in the blame game, but it is a true fact that Nepal is influenced to a very large extent by our friends from across the Himalayas. It is also true that when there was a current turmoil, a political turmoil in Nepal, within the ruling party of Nepal, It was not the Indian ambassador, but it was the Chinese ambassador in Kathmandu, the honorable Chinese ambassador who tried to play the political games. I am not accusing anyone. Foreign policies are not meant to accuse someone, but the diplomacy says the nation's interests come first. And the Indian nation's interest is to have a peaceful Nepal, progressive Nepal, a developed Nepal, which is in India's good health. If one bomb explodes in Nepal, we in India feel aggrieved. हमें भी दर्द होता है. अगर मेरे नेपाली बहन और भाई को दर्द होगा, तो हमें भी भारत के किसी भी कोने में बैठकर दर्द महसूस होगा, क्योंकि आप हम हो और हम आप हैं. अगर आपकी और मेरी शक्ल देखी जाए, तो मैं नेपाली लगूंगा और आप भारत के लगेंगे.
Okay, exactly right. Dr. Bizay, does this dispute reflect a deeper problem in India and Nepal relations?
I think in the long run, issues keep on cropping up. The NGOs, the self-help groups, people who meddle in across the border issues, political parties, they seize upon such issues at various time intervals and they try to snowball them into controversies. But the nations have to exist beyond these controversies. Nepal and India relations are of centuries old, strong relationship based on trade, based on foreign direct investment. I would wish to tell you there are 150 Indian multinational companies who have invested in Nepal. The 30% total foreign direct investment of Nepal is by Indian companies. The ITC, the Dabur, the MTNL, the VSNL, the TCIL, the LIC, the Asian Paints, the Hindustan Unilever, the State Bank of India, the Punjab National Bank, the Concord. These are the big players of India, financial and business sector, who have invested in your country. And more than that, the twinning of the Indian and the Nepali sister cities, Kathmandu with Varanasi, Lumbini with Bodh Gaya, Janakpur with Ayodhya. These are those issues I wish to put on record which show the closeness of the relationship between India and Nepal. So we cannot be alienated. These issues will come, these controversies will erupt, there will be negotiations, there will be parleys, there will be dialogues, sitting across the table and arriving at consensus on both sides of the fence. I would suggest in the long run can only strengthen India and Nepal relations. And this is the reason why when every new government is formed in Nepal, the first visit of the Nepalese Prime Minister and his first stop is at New Delhi, because they know within their heart to heart, India is a true friend of Nepal, notwithstanding the political activities of the day last year or 5 years or 10 years. And this is the reason why India has maintained the best of the relationship with KP Sharma Oli, with Mr. Korala, with Madhav Nepal, with Mr. Jhalnath Khanal, with Mr. Prachand, or whosoever has been in power in Nepal. We have never differentiated. He is us or he is against us. It is only a difference of perception which the media friends, which the people with vested interest try to generate between the two nations. My only concept is follow the close relationship and the brotherhood and the love and affection which Dr. Vijay Jolly has for his Nepali brothers and sisters. And this is the reason after landing up on the Nepal soil, every time मैं नेपाल की माटी को अपने माथे से लगाता हूं और उसको प्रणाम करता हूं, जैसे कि शायद मैं पिछले जन्म में नेपाली था, नेपाल में जन्म हुआ था, क्योंकि उस हिंदू नेपाल को मैं प्रणाम करता हूं, क्योंकि मैं भी एक हिंदू हूं और मैं भारत में रहकर अपने आप को नेपाल की अस्मिता के साथ, नेपाल की संस्कृति के साथ कहीं ना कहीं जुड़ा हुआ पाता हूं। मैं कैसे आपके विरोध में जा सकता हूं, कैसे मेरी पार्टी आपके विरोध में जा सकती है।
Okay, Dr. Bise, does this crisis reflect a failure of India's neighborhood first policy?
You see, it is not a failure of anyone. It is neither India's failure and neither
there is a
failure of
big gap in the relation of India and Nepal. There is big gap.
You say there is a big gap, but I wish to correct you. New cross-border rail links between India and Nepal at Jogbani and Viratnagar, at Jayanagar and Bardi Bas, new road links between India and Nepal, India contributing on the upgradation of 10 major roads in the Terai region, the electrical cargo system for Nepali goods to transit via Indian ports, the integrated checkpoints at Birganj, at Viratnagar, at Bhairwa, at Nepalganj. Also, the inland waterways navigation plans to augment the people of Nepal and the people of India with water resources, flood management, managing large river flows from Nepal into India, cross-border pipeline for petroleum products.
Okay.
Will you term it as a failure or as the manifest of close interrelated relationship between India and Nepal? 4 visits of the Indian Prime Minister to Nepal and 3 visits of your current Prime Minister to India. There might be some perceptions on some issues where we might differ. But the military exercises, Surya Kiran joint military exercises between the military of Nepal and India, is it wrong? And is it also that Nepal honors the chief of the Indian Army staff with the Upadhi of the General and vice versa, Indian government honoring the Nepal Army chief? 3,000 annual scholarships are provided to the students of Nepal in India. And India is the largest trading partner of Nepal today. Is it wrong? Is it a failure? No. Please see the things from the positive perspective, with a positive eye, with a positive perspective of increasing the cooperation between the two countries. Merely on the issue of 80 kilometers disputed, according to you, you put the whole gamut of the India-Nepal friendship on the back burner. I think you will be doing a disservice to the people of India, to the goodwill which the people of Nepal enjoy in India, and also the large-heartedness of the Indian political diaspora towards the people of Nepal. Nepalis are in our blood. Nepalis are our head and soul. नेपाल भारत का माथा है, नेपाल भारत का दिल है. इतनी बेरहमी से नेपाल की सड़कों के ऊपर भारत की पुतले मत फूकिए. मेरे प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ प्रदर्शन मत करिए. हमारी दरियादिली को हमारी कमजोरी मत मानिए. ये दोस्ती दोनों तरफ से चलती है. आप पूछते रहेंगे और मैं बताता रहूंगा. आप हमें एक्यूज करते रहेंगे, हम डिफेंड करते रहेंगे. इसलिए हमने शुरू में कहा हम विकास के इस लंबी दौड़ के अंदर बराबरी के भागीदार हैं. इसलिए आप हमें रिस्पेक्ट करिए, हम आपको रिस्पेक्ट करेंगे. आप हमारे विकास में हमारे बराबर के भागीदार हैं. ये डॉक्टर विजय जॉली हमेशा से कहता चला आया है, क्योंकि मेरा नेपाल के साथ अब का नहीं, अनेक वर्षों का पुराना रिश्ता है।
Okay, Dr. Bijoli, you have to say very clearly right now, why has India not yet taken the initiative to diffuse tensions and begin the diplomatic dialogue?
देखिए, मैं आई विश टू क्लियरली स्टेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड,
Okay,
with the COVID-19 pandemic sweeping the continent,
Vijay
my
Jolie,
prime minister,
India's silence is the greatest cause.
I'm coming to your
Okay,
questions.
okay, okay. In a general way, you have to
COVID-19,
clarify it.
COVID-19 coupled with the tension on India-China border,
Okay.
that was the first priorities of the government of India,
Mhm.
and also for the people of India to have addressed. All other issues come and are relegated to the background. But I'm
Okay.
sure this issue will also be addressed at the right juncture in a congenial environment when we have overcome the present pandemic COVID-19, which is endangering the mankind. It might not be severe in your country, but with a population explosion in Republic of India, that is the priority of the government of India. And please mind it, you cannot force an immediate neighbor by what you see is right by passing a constitutional
Okay.
amendment
Okay. Okay.
which we consider.
Does this means India has lost confidence in Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli?
You see, had that been the case, so Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Oli would not have talked with each other after May 8th also. They have correlated.
Prime Minister Oli wished in his birthday.
You see, these are the elements which you need to appreciate.
Okay.
These are the elements which you need to take forward. India has not issued any adverse statement on Nepal's unilateral actions on that 80 kilometers of road which Nepal claims to be its own. But please note my statement. This whole area is strategic, not only for Indian security concerns, but for Nepal's security concerns vis-a-vis from across the border, because our immediate neighbor, China, has been working closely with a terror-stricken Pakistan, which has always had an evil eye on India. China has assisted Pakistan in its 5 nuclear reactors built up in Pakistan. So this whole area has to be viewed from Indian as well as Nepali security concerns. And since 1950, Indian Tibetan Border Security Police has been managing the security of this area. And imagine, last year also, last year also, when there was a dispute between China and Bhutan, it was India which had come to the rescue of the Bhutanese territorial claims in Dhokalam. India will always stand with Nepal. Rather being the aggressor, we shall always be a soft peddling neighbor who always feels
Okay.
firmly
Is
to
India
progress together.
is India interested in dialogue? I mean, the both parties should be serious.
I'm surprised to see this question of yours. With 1,200 crores of Indian aid and assistance to Nepal during the year 2019 and 2020, you have the audacity to ask me, is India serious? Where was the need or the pressure on India to have provided this fiscal help to Nepal? I wish to remind you, sir, when the Nepal earthquake happened, and this happened in a few years ago, India was the first country which had provided succor, assistance, and help to Nepal within the first 12 hours. India was the first country which had committed 100 million US dollars aid to Nepal to build 50,000, reconstruct 50,000 houses in Nepal. And you say that India is non-serious? I think you people have to wash up your minds. What are you talking? I don't take
Dr.
these
Vijay Joly.
questions very, very lightly. You people wish to say that we were forced to do that. China did not come, Pakistan did not come, Bangladesh did not come, America did not come. It was my Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, after your massive earthquake, that Mr. Modi provided all the help, the National Disaster Relief tents, materials, medicines, gloves. It was Indian brothers who had provided you with the succor. आपको उस मुसीबत के समय में अगर किसी ने सहायता करी तो भारत ने करी। इतने निष्ठुर मत बनिए। सहायता लेने के बाद मत भूलिए एक 80 किलोमीटर की टेरिटरी जिसको आप अपना कहते हैं और हम आपके और अपने नागरिकों की सहूलियत के लिए जिसको हमने अपने पैसे से बनाया है, और फिर आप कहते हैं कि हम नॉन सीरियस हैं। मुझे लगता है आपको अपने माइंडसेट को चेंज करने की जरूरत है। ये 2020 का युग है, इसमें एवरीथिंग इज ऑन द कंप्यूटर, एवरीथिंग इज ऑन द रिकॉर्ड, एंड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड इफ वी से वी लव नेपालीज, वी अप्रिशिएट नेपालीज, वी एडमायर नेपालीज, वी वांट टू बी इक्वल पार्टनर्स इन योर ग्रोथ, और अगर हम आपका सहयोग करते हैं और आप हम पे मिसट्रस्ट करते हैं, आप हमारी भावनाओं के ऊपर किसी भी प्रकार से दोषारोपण करने के लिए बढ़ जाते हैं, आप मेरे प्रधानमंत्री के पुतले काठमांडू में जलाते हैं और आप हमें कहते हैं कि हम शांत रहें, हम तो फिर भी भैया शांत रहते हैं, क्योंकि कल को आप ही हमें कहोगे भारत तो इतना बड़ा देश था, भारतीयों ने तो नेपाल के ऊपर कुठाराघात कर दिया, जो ठीक नहीं होगा। इसलिए मेरे मित्र, माय फ्रेंड, प्लीज रीथिंक ऑन योर पॉलिसीज। The policies of the current government on both sides of the fence should be people-centric. दोनों देशों का विकास हो, दोनों देश शांति के पथ पर चलें, दोनों देश अपनी जनता के हित में काम करें। इसलिए भारत के प्रधानमंत्री, भारत के राष्ट्रपति, भारत के मंत्री, भारत के विदेश मंत्री, भारत के ट्रेड के डेलीगेशन, भारत के सांसद और भारत की जनता नेपाल के साथ भाईचारा और भाईचारे के अलावा कुछ नहीं देखना चाहती है, सोचना चाहती है। अगर कुछ बिंदुओं पर एक परिवार में भी कुछ विषयों के ऊपर मतभेद हो जाते हैं, उसका यह मतलब नहीं कि कोई बाप का वो बेटा नहीं, उस बेटे का कोई भाई नहीं। जो वाद विवाद हो उनको बैठ के सुलझा लो और आगे बढ़ो। दोनों देशों के लोग प्यार से, मित्रता से, सौंदर्य से, गुडविल से रोटी बेटी के संबंधों को आगे बढ़ाने का काम करें, ना कि देशों के विकास को पीछे लेकर जाने के लिए प्रयास करें।
Okay, Dr. Vijay, are there any possible solutions to this dispute in the long term?
देखिए, बात जब प्यार से की जाती है, जब दुलार से एक दूसरे के विषयों को समझा जाता है, तो हर चीज का, हर डिस्प्यूट का, हर मतभेद का, हर मनभेद का कहीं ना कहीं हल निकलता है। आप मुझे गाली दें और मैं भी आपको गाली दूं, उसका कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है। भारत और नेपाल के संबंध इतने प्रगाढ़ हैं, हमें समझदारी से काम लेना चाहिए। नेपाल के 3 लाख नेपाली बहन और भाई उस पशुपतिनाथ मंदिर के देश के हमारे लिए देवी और देवता हैं, जिनके प्रति हम कभी भी गलत नजर से नहीं देख सकते। और अगर डॉक्टर विजय जॉली नहीं देख सकता, तो भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी, जिनके दिल में अथाह समुंदर है प्यार का, लगाव का, डायलॉग का, मित्रता का, जिन्होंने अपने 6 सालों के कार्यकाल में 2014 से लेके 2020 तक दुनिया के हर एक प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर पहल लेकर, चाहे वो G20 में हो, सार्क नेशंस में हो, एशियान के अंदर हो, यूनाइटेड नेशंस में हो, कहीं पर भी भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने सुगमता से, धैर्य से, प्रभुता से नहीं, धींगा मुश्ती से नहीं, मित्रवत संबंधों को और प्रगाढ़ करने से, चाहे वो अफ्रीका, चाहे वो यूरोप, चाहे वो चाइना के साथ और चाहे पाकिस्तान के साथ, संबंधों को मधुर करने के लिए जो पहल ली है, उस पहल का मुझे आशा है मेरे नेपाल के मित्रबंध, मेरे नेपाल के बहन और भाई उस अंडरस्टैंडिंग को अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे और उस अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे आगे बढ़कर जो छोटी मोटी दरारें हम दोनों देशों के बीच में आ रही हैं, उनको दूर करने की कोशिश करें।
Okay, what is the reality? The research and analysis wing, Chief Samant goes visit to Nepal. What is the reason of this visit?
देखिए, 2 विजिट अभी हाल ही के हफ्तों में जो अभी हुए हैं।
Okay.
Raw Chief's visit to Nepal.
Yes.
And the Prime Minister of Nepal having a cordial dialogue with the Raw Chief from India. That's a very significant event which has taken place, but roundly criticized by the Nepali politicians. I would say that this visit was meant in the direction of imbibing the confidence level between the two countries. It has rarely happened in the previous past that the Raw Chief has visited a neighboring country, and a neighboring country elected Prime Minister has given him a chance to meet him. I wish to put on record our great appreciation, our thank you to the Nepal Prime Minister and the Nepal polity. But I think such visits are very essential. The connoisseurs of the meeting have not come in the public. But of course, if the Raw Chief of India has visited Nepal, it is to dispel the fears of the Nepal people and the Nepal government about the intentions of the government of India towards Nepal. And more than that, the recent visit of the Indian Army Chief to Nepal is another significant event which has taken place. And also in the coming weeks or months, the proposed visit of the Foreign Secretary to Nepal, the Raw Chief, the Army Chief, the Foreign Secretary visit to Nepal are those measures which you in the media, the Nepali citizens, the Nepali political forces should all appreciate. This is the engagement of the Modi-led government with its immediate neighbor. We have not chosen to ignore, which is your allegation on us. We have chosen to depute our best officers, to depute our best bureaucrats, our top army general, to talk to you, to know your sentiments, to engage with you, to talk to you and have a dialogue with an open mind and an open heart. So I think these gestures, these visits, these meetings, these dialogues are very conducive for strong and healthy Indo-Nepal relations not only in the current 2020, but also in the coming year and thereafter in 2021 and thereafter, for peaceful coexistence of India and Nepal in this part of the region.
Okay, Dr. Vijay Joly, thank you so much for sharing your most important time to my show, International Discourse. Have anything to share in the last of this conversation?
My only submission to you is,
okay,
we all love Nepal. We all love Nepalis. You are our brothers and sisters. We have common family heritage. हमारा खून, हमारा परिवार, हमारी विरासत, हमारी संस्कृति, हमारा धर्म सब एक है. हमारे पे शक नहीं करो. हम जितना आपको प्यार करते हैं, उस प्यार को आप भी प्यार से ठक ठक और ठक करो. देखिए कितना मजा आएगा. आज बढ़ता हुआ भारत प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व के अंदर, उसका लाभ नेपाल की समृद्धि को हो, नेपाल के नौजवानों को अच्छे शिक्षा के अवसर मिले, काम करने का अधिकार मिले, उनको नेपाल से अच्छे रोजगार और एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए जापान, अमेरिका और चाइना और अन्य देशों में नहीं जाना पड़े. आज मैं नेपालियों को दुनिया के किसी भी देश में देखता हूं. आई विजिटेड 87 कंट्रीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. मैं मेहनतकश नेपालियों को देखता हूं, पढ़े लिखे नेपालियों को देखता हूं, प्रोग्रेसिव नेपालियों को देखता हूं, किसी भिखारी नेपाली को नहीं देखता हूं. इसलिए मैं आपको सलाम करता हूं, प्रणाम करता हूं, सैल्यूट करता हूं, एंड आई लव यू ऑल, माय नेपाली ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स.
Okay, last one question. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi is planning to visit Nepal as soon as possible.
I cannot comment upon what the Prime Minister is envisaging. But the forthcoming visit of the Foreign Secretary to Nepal, and if possible, after that, if there is a reciprocal visit of my Prime Minister to your country or your Prime Minister to our country, would be a welcome sign.
Okay, you can make a good environment right this time, because you are in the bottom line, Dr. Vijay Joly.
I have always played the role of a felicitator. मैं लोगों के दिलों को दिलों से जोड़ने का काम करता हूं. I promote people to people friendship. मैं ना मंत्री हूं, ना संतरी हूं, ना मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हूं, ना एमएलए हूं, ना निगम पार्षद हूं, ना मेयर हूं, लेकिन मैं भारत का और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक सम्मानित फुट सोल्जर हूं, जो इस बात में विश्वास रखता है कि भारत और नेपाल के संबंध मजबूत हों, शक्तिशाली हों. तभी इंडियन ओशन की दो बड़ी शक्तियां, नेपाल और भारत, हिमालय के इस पार और नेपाल हिमालय के उस पार, दोनों तरफ अपनी प्रभुता को जमाकर दुनिया के अंदर अपना परचम लहरा सकती हैं. इसलिए हिंदू नेपाल को भारत के एक हिंदू डॉक्टर विजय जॉली का प्रणाम भी है, सलाम भी है और नमस्कार भी है.
Okay, Dr. Vijay Joly, thank you so much for sharing your most important time. Thank you very much.
No official position, but very much as an ordinary, simple citizen of India who loves Nepal. Jai Hind, Jai Nepal.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Namaste.